Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Skeledirge with Shadow Ball. We're going to have the Licky as our Say Sub. And in the back we're going to have the Lickitung for the new Holiday Cup, which is now available for everyone. And honestly, Skeledirge is one of those Pokemon that I was really excited for. And honestly, it's such a good Pokemon to run as well in this meta. We're going to have here now a Fire type, and there are quite a lot of Steel and Ice type Pokemon in this meta currently. That I do think that this is one of the best Pokemon to run right now. Yep, we're gonna see the Mana Boss coming in. I should have most likely even stayed in for one more faster with my lead there, because I would have been ending up at 100 energy then, as well as I wasn't really too scared about what the Mana Boss can do against my team, as we're actually having two great answers for this Pokemon. And this is the thing here as well, for the weaknesses of Skeledirge. We actually have a lot of play with our backline, and this is such an easy team to run as well. It would be most likely one of those teams I would really recommend just to run, because it's so simple to run basically as well. You don't really have to think a lot in a lot of cases here as well. You literally just have your A, B, B style line again. You have your Say Sub of the Licky. You have your Skeledirge in the lead. And there are like different kind of modes as well here with Wigglytuff in the back in order to win the battles, which is something that I just really enjoy for teams. If it's not just like, okay, I try to have alignment, whatever, and that's kind of it. You have so many different ways of winning here. What do I mean with this? You have the lead, which has access to the move Torch Song, which gives you the way of winning by trying to boost yourself up late game. You have a Wigglytuff, which has access to Charm, which is a very hard-hitting fast move, which also now generates energy even quite fast, which is kind of funny. But it allows to also kind of go through opponents just with fast move damage alone. Then you have Licky, which is going to be here to spam those charge moves, which is going to allow you then to go shields down. And then you have hard-hitting moves like the Shadow Ball that you can reach faster now on that Skeledirge. And so, like, this team is well-rounded, kind of supports itself a lot, and has so much play against the current meta, while also trapping certain Pokemon that you wouldn't really want to face. Here, for example, we go up against the Doublade, that's fine. But if you, for example, would have had that scenario here, what the hell, there's a Honchcrow in the back, that's not really what I was expecting here today. But if you have the scenario, basically, that yeah, you're going to have like something like a Doublade in the back. They are very likely going to sub out into your Say Sub here against the Licky, but Licky is actually Shadow Ball against Doublade as well, so it's not a bad matchup, and you can avoid it then with the Wigglytuff. In this case, we can't, but in this case, it also doesn't really matter because we have a Torch Song stored. The opponent doesn't even go for their charge move because I didn't have two stored yet. We can knock them out, and with that, we can win the battle straight away here, as the Incinerate is going to be enough to knock them out. In comes next the Annihilate and then the Haunter, and this was actually such a traumatizing battle. You'll see why in a minute. Basically, I just messed up in any kind of way I could possibly mess up, which is fantastic. Yeah, basically here we have the Haunter. We had to use two shields basically in order to align ourselves, which I kind of needed to because I expect that there's a Gengar in the back at this point. So we have the Gengar coming in now. And I was kind of wanting to, of course, have my Licky against this Pokemon. Turns out, yeah, I swap out into my Licky, which really doesn't make any sense here at this point anymore. I was thinking with like a triple goal steam from the opponent, it would be kind of in my best interest to get out the Annihilate again and try my best to just go for the Shadow Ball spam. But now realizing that they're very likely going to knock me out here, I don't think that was the right decision to go for. Ice Punch is coming in. I'm forced to kind of try to go for the Torch Song in order to knock them out, but they of course can go for a Rage Chest first. And they're still going to have the Gengar, which is now going to be able to also yeah, just farm me down in this position. I still have, of course, access to the Icy Wind, but now we have to hope that the Such Bomb is not enough to knock me out. I think the opponent got one free fast move in here that they should have not got in, and I think this completely matters in this battle as well, because the Such Bomb is coming in, it's knocking me out, and they're actually going to be able to win this, but I do think they got one free fast move in there that they should have not, and this actually changed the entire battle, which is kind of interesting. Actually, never mind. I kind of take that back. Because the opponent had a Shadow Punch stored at the back there as well, it didn't change the battle. I would have lost no matter what. So I will absolutely take that back. Shout out to the opponent though as well. Interestingly, as interesting team, as well as I just didn't really play it correct. I should have went into my Licky against the Haunter. I don't know why I didn't do that. I just saw Ghost type and was like, I'm gonna go into my Wigglytuff. That is my closer. I have fast move pressure here. And that was not the ideal play. So yeah, my bad. I could have won this battle if I just went into Licky. To be fair, I think that would have been quite an easier victory because then I could have aligned myself and I could have kind of, yeah, would have had a bit of an advantage against the rest of the team as well. So my fault for sure. Anyway, we're going to have another very tough-ish matchup. We're going to have the Ludicolo up against us. And yeah, we are in a position here right now where I don't think that we have a chance of winning, because what we have here is Ludicolo against our Skeledirge. Ludicolo has just straight up super effective damage against us. They have Astonish, they have Wither Wall Water, and both of them going to do some super effective damage against our Skeledirge. In comes here now our Wigglytuff. We can try to go for the Swift. That is totally fine. This is going to allow us to get the KO against the opponent. In comes Credillium. That is fine as well. We're going to be able to go for the Ice Event, and this is gonna get some damage in against the opponent, but there's no way that we can survive this hit here, right? Like, this is gonna do enough damage to knock me out. It doesn't actually, and we can still farm them down and win. Okay, Third. Third is a Pokemon that I still want to showcase as well for different reasons, but we'll talk about it when we showcase it. The thing is here, yeah, like, this team was just amazing. Like, honestly, this team was really fantastic, but I find Skeledirge was a bit tough to use. And like, this is the thing as well. I feel like there are quite some solid answers against Skeledirge in the current meta, but you are always able to get some use out of this Pokemon, which is kind of funny. Like, you always had the option at least to do something with this thing, which is great. Like, honestly, it is great. Here we are going to have the trail-based version of the Third. I'm going to swap out here actually into the Skeledirge because I expect them to get to another move, and I don't want to use my shield here yet. I want to keep my shield for the Wigglytuff, basically. But in comes the Talonflame. There's no way I can win this battle. There's absolutely zero way I can win this battle at this point. There is going to be now the Torch Song coming in. I have to go for another Torch Song in order to have a chance of winning. I have to shield here. I need to kind of get rid of the final shield in order to have a chance here. And even then, like, I am going to be so far behind that it's nearly impossible. I have to kind of sub out straight away here. And they sub out straight away into Corviknight. Yeah, there's no chance. Like, I just getting walled here. There is absolutely nothing I can do. For double flying, makes sense. Flying is the only weakness of normal type Pokemon. Yeah, like, not really too much more to say there. Trail-based makes sense as well, because you have the Talonflame in the back, so yeah, you kind of want to have some answers against, like, water-type Pokemon, potentially. Solid team. Like, there's nothing more that I can say about it. It's just an interesting, solid team. And we can now, yeah, go down here with our Wigglytuff. That is fine. Air Cut is coming through, and we can go into Skeledirge, but Skeledirge goes down as well, and we can move on to the next opponent, where we have Ferret, and where we're going to have the Licky now coming in. We're going to try our best to go for the Body Slam spam, but as we will see, the Brick Break is coming in here. And in comes Corviknight, and that's not too bad. I get out Corviknight that I don't want to see with my other Pokemon in the back here. I want to see it with my Wigglytuff, but I can still go for some nice neutral damage with my Shadow Ball, so I'm not too worried about it. This is going to do some nice damage, and they're forced to go for Payback or Iron Head in order to knock me out here. Let's see what they are running. They are running the move Air Cutter, and that is not going to be enough, and this allows me to force them at least to go for another move. I would have even reached another Body Slam against them, and I should be able to just farm down with a Skeledirge. One fast move, it's all it takes, and we will see the Third coming back in as we can go into the Wigglytuff. We're only one fast move away from getting to a move with our Skeledirge, but let's swap on into the Aegislash, and that is going to be tough to win here. Like, this is going to be very much impossible. I don't know. What would need to happen is that I would need to keep, I think, the shields for my Skeledirge. But, like, I need to kind of get energy. I need to kind of get my attack up against the Third in order to have a chance. And they have Brick Break, so I doubt that there's a way of me winning this battle. I think we stopped out at the same time, which is quite unfortunate. And they go for the move here. It's going to be the Brick Break. It doesn't do any damage, so there's next to no point of even shielding it. But yeah, I don't know if there is a way of winning this. I doubt there is, because as you see as well, the opponent does too much damage. I'm forced now to shield this move up if I want to get anything done here. But I would need to still knock out the opponent's Aegislash with my other Pokemon here, with my Wigglytuff. And as you see here, I'm still going to swap out. I'm still going to try my best. We are forced to shield. We're forced to no shield, I guess. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. Like, I just got walled here. That's how it is. Ferret against our Ghost type, and then Aegislash against our Fairy type. Alright, Spiritomb. Spiritomb is fine. We're going to have a backline that's going to be good. And again, we're kind of getting destroyed here for, like, the lead section, basically. We don't have any good leads with our Skeledirge so far. But here, we have the Sunfish coming in. Sunfish would be a Pokemon that we can deal with our Skeledirge. But also, Sunfish is not as strong So we can actually deal with it as well with the Shadow Ball spam of our Licky. And this is going to be enough now to get them into a farm down range. And now I have alignment, and that is way more important. I try my best to go for the Shadow Ball. I don't get it done in time. That is still fine. And I will let the first move go here. And funnily enough, they went for the wrong move. They went for the Shadow Ball. And I no-shield the Shadow Ball, which is absolutely fantastic. Very devastating for the opponent. Now I decide to use a shield because I don't want to have the matchup against the Spiritomb with my Skeledirge. But also, I want to drop their attack here real quick before I swap out of the matchup. Dunsparce is going to get their attack dropped, and of course Dunsparce is very good against my against the rest of my team here. I will let the move go. It is going to be the drill run from the opponent, and they can still reach another one in time. I was thinking of shielding this move up, but I decided against it, and I was thinking that Charm most likely does more damage over time, and just better because the difference between Charm and the Incendiary as well is the turn duration. And with Charm being a 3-turn fast move, I do get every single time they try to go for a charge move, also a free fast move in. That means here, I get the fast move in, I can shield this move up, and as long as I'm not in range yet for them to knock me out with a drill run, I should be kind of fine here. As I got the debuff onto them earlier, this should be okay. I do survive, and I will be able to win the battle. Again, just with 1 HP, like we had already earlier today. Okay, that's kind of the worst possible matchup. We have the Lanturn against an Elite. We are swapping out, and they are... I think they didn't swap out here. I think that's going to land against the Lanturn. It does land against the Lanturn. It's going to be fine. Shadow Ball generally is, I think, the stronger damage per energy move as well compared to Body Slam. So that is something noteworthy, as we have here the Shadow Ball coming through against a Lickitung. That is such a great catch from the opponent. That is something that I really didn't enjoy. But I can go for another Body Slam here, which I should have not done in hindsight now, thinking about it. I should just got my energy, which I'm going to try to do now, and I swap out here into my Skeledirge, because while they do super effective fast move damage, all the charge moves and all the energy that they have is going to go to waste. Like, there's nothing they can do about it. They have normal type and they have grass type coverage. This is not something that is going to be too threatening for our Skeledirge. And we will see here that I decide to use a shield against the Lanturn even, as I know that they don't have a water gun, so I'm not really too threatened straight away by their fast moves. I can go for the Torch Song and I will be able to get them low enough that I can... I go for the charge move here. I just don't want to risk it. I don't want to get hit by another move. So I could have maybe even farmed him down with a Skeledirge. I wouldn't be too surprised. But in comes the Wigglytuff, and honestly, I do think that is still the right call from me, because at this point, I have alignment. I am going to be able to get some damage onto them. And this damage is actually so crucial that we just got off against them, because what we have here is a situation where the opponent is going to have a Wigglytuff, and the Wigglytuff is already super low by all the fast move pressure that we got up against them. And now I have my own Wigglytuff, which can just go for the full farm down. They still will be able to reach another move. I don't really care too much about it. I still survive. It's a Swift, and we can win the battle. Good game to the opponent. What a game that was. We're going to have Dunsparce next. This is going to be again a matchup where I usually like to go and get a little bit of energy advantage with my Skeledirge. And this is all kind of towards the game plan that we had previously discussed of trying to sweep endgame with Skeledirge with the boost that you're going to get from Torch Song. To be fair, we haven't really seen Shadow Ball action at all really with the Skeledirge, because Torch Song is such a good move that it's rare that you even need to go for the Shadow Ball, but just basically, Skeledirge is now at a point where it got buffed so much from this update now as well, that it's like such an amazing Pokemon. You have amazing fast move pressure, you have an insane typing there as well, like Ghost and Fire is such a cool type, offensively especially. You have a hard-hitting move that you got to after 50 energy, which means you can go and double up at Shadow Ball after just 5 fast moves, which is kind of ridiculous, so... It's a fantastic Pokemon to run. I would really recommend you to give Skeledirge a try in this meta, or just generally even in the Open Great League. I kind of want to definitely make another video towards this Pokemon for the Open Great League. But as we see here, we're going to catch the move on Licky. Oh wow, that doesn't really matter because it's going to be debuffed already. We are not really too worried about it. I can go for the Body Slam spam. I have so much energy on this Pokemon. I don't really care too much about it. The Dunsparce is very likely going to go down here. And we will see as well that there is going to be the Sableye coming in, and we can go now for the Shadow Ball against them to knock them not out, but knock them low, and that is all I need. Okay, I actually got just the shield, that is fine by me as well. I can shield here. I didn't even really need to shield here because I still have my Skeledirge there, but I can go for the Icy Wind. That's at least what I thought, but I can't. But I'm one fast move away actually here from my Skeledirge to get to a move, which we did already earlier. They swap onto the Mandibuzz. I can farm them down. They can knock me not out there. And now, yeah, I would be able to win this. I could have went for the Shadow Ball then at the end, but the opponent decides to forfeit instead. Alright, final battle for today here, like for this team at least. I'm more saying I have another video out anyway soonish. We're going to have here a pretty awkward lead. Interesting here enough, we're going to have the Shadow Ball coming up against the Corviknight, that is fine. And as we will see, there is going to be here now then Air Cutter coming through, this is fine. Another Shadow Ball is going to come through against the opponent. This is going to allow us to get some more damage in, and we are looking like we're in a very solid spot here. As you see, there is going to be the Air Cutters, they don't really do enough damage. I have the Body Slam stored now, and this is going to knock out the Corviknight very likely. And so, we can align ourselves, which is quite nice. We have, yeah, our core there in the back, that's just so good. This is the thing as well here with this team kinda, you have just this amazing core that you can run all the time with like Skeledirge and Wigglytuff, and you just kinda, if you have alignment, most of the times you're going to be winning the battles. Like most of the times you are going to be able to win the battles. Here, in this case, of course, I'm forced to use a shield. They could have Earthquake, which would be devastating, which they actually go for as well. But here, Stunfisk is actually going to be one of the Pokemon that I'm most worried about. I should have, in hindsight, also not used the shield here. I don't think that the shield made sense against the Skeledirge at this point, because an Earthquake would be more devastating than whatever they did there. At the end of the day, it's most likely going to be still alright to shield up the move there. They went for Discharge. Discharge is still the worst move compared to Mud Bomb. This might allow us to still survive the hit, which it does, otherwise we would have not, but they actually catch the move onto the wall right anyway, so well done there. But yeah, basically, yeah, this actually more say benefits themselves, but yeah, Discharge is not the ideal move. If you have a Stunfisk yourself, always go for the Mud Bomb. Discharge is only worth it if Mud Bomb is resisted, or Discharge is the super effective hit, like against a Water type or against a... Where's ground resisted, where electric is just neutral? I actually don't know. Like Ludicolo, you're going to be fine there. But anyway, that's going to be it for this battle. We're still going to win here, even against a very hard counter. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then.